Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I know that I'm probably in trouble with a lot of you guys, and I apologize. I'm not even gonna get into why I've been kind of off camera for a while. I do dive a little bit into it in the video, but I've had some life events come up. Life has been crazy. It's been busy, but I am finally so excited to be back. I have a new lens that I filmed with. I know I used that in my last video, but I finally feel like I have like a hang of it. I bought a microphone. I mean, we are becoming YouTubers here, people. Takes a village to do all of this. Sorry if the video is so long. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join the family. Take a second to really capture this image because in a second I'm gonna look like a gremlin. And we're going back to ugly in 3, 2, hey guys, do you remember me? The most inconsistent YouTuber on the internet. I swear to God, I did not mean to go like MIA for a little bit. Today's gonna be like a chit chat, get ready with me. I do have a family party that we're going to at about 7, so I gave myself like 2.5 hours to film this video because it does take a village, people to like set everything up and take it all down and do my makeup and all of that nonsense. There are so many new products in this video. I swear this whole month and a half that I've been gone, I have so many new products that are now favorites of mine, and I really want to share them with you guys on camera because I feel like I don't do favorites videos all the time and all that nonsense. So I just want to show you guys what have been like staples in my makeup collection lately. So I'm gonna start with my skin today. I know I normally do my eyes first because I always go glam, but I feel like I've been loving doing my skin first and my eyes after. So we're gonna start with that. I did not bring a primer down. Oh my God, I didn't bring a primer. I'll be right back. I need to get a primer because I need to smooth out all these pores on my goddamn skin because stress causes uneven texture. Okay guys, so I'm back with a primer. I have been loving this. So my skin has been honestly all over the place recently, and this is the LA Girl Pro Prep HD Moisture Nourishing Face Primer. And you guys know I am oily normally, but since my hormones have kind of changed the way that my skin is, I've definitely got to more normal to dry and like some areas of my face. It honestly just depends on the time of year. So even in the summer, I still feel like I'm pretty normal. Like I don't think I'm overly oily anymore, which honestly, I'm not even mad about that. Like I'm over that. So I still use mattifying products sometimes. Just kind of depends on how long I want my makeup to last or like where I'm going and stuff like that. Like if I'm going out, which I don't do anymore because I'm old. Like if I were to go out or something to like a bar, I would use a mattifying primer because I'm gonna be in a place where there's so many people. I'll be like dying of heat and like dancing and sweating. So I wanna make sure that my makeup is locked and loaded and it is not going to just run down my entire face. So after we're done priming, we are gonna go in with foundation. I'm still using my tried and true, which is the CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made Foundation. It is my favorite foundation of all time, and I just haven't found one that works better. I have tried a bunch, you guys know, in the past, and I just don't love them. This shade is a little bit dark for me, so don't be alarmed, but I do lighten it with a bunch of concealer and stuff like that, so I don't want you guys to be like, oh my goodness, her skin does not match. Just wait, it will match in the end, I swear. And I have been using this Morphe sponge, and I am not affiliated with them. I've never been once contacted by the brand, so honestly, all of my opinions are my own, but I love this sponge, and I don't know if it honestly does anything different to my skin than like my Sigma or the Beauty Blender. For some reason, I've been completely obsessed with it. This was honestly so cheap. Like I don't remember how much I spent on it, but I think it was like $7. And I'm like, okay, why have I been living under a rock? I feel like everyone has just hyped Morphe up so much that I'm like, ugh, I hate jumping on like and doing what everyone loves. I'm like, I'd rather just do my own thing than like follow the crowd. I wanted to see for myself if this performed like well or if it was just like a whole load of bullshit. And oh, sorry if there's kids watching, I'm sorry. But it's not bad. Like honestly, I actually really like it. I like the shape of it. That's how I feel about this sponge. So after I'm done with foundation and I look kind of dead, we're gonna go in with concealer. And this one I think is new. I don't know that I've used this on camera yet. And this is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. Mine is in the shade Almond. I love this concealer. I definitely don't think I like it as much as I like the Tarte Shape Tape, but I was in the mood to try a different concealer. I was at Ulta. I think this was all in the same experience. It was after my boyfriend had left for deployment that I went shopping and stuff, because he is so against me spending money on makeup. He just thinks I have way too much of it and I don't need any more. So I had to like wait till he was like gone until I could like go spend money on makeup. And I don't know, I just feel like I like this concealer. I think it just goes on so easy and it's not too heavy either. Like I feel like it's full coverage. Yeah, it's not cakey and it doesn't like dry out underneath my eyes at all. Like I said, I don't know that I love it as much as I love the Tarte Shape Tape. I just think that that one, I don't know, for some reason I like this one a little better because it's not as full coverage, and I think sometimes the Tarte Shape Tape just becomes a little too much on my skin and I'm like, oh, it's just, I feel like it's so heavy and there's so much coverage to it that like, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with that, but I just think it's like sometimes it's a little too much coverage and I don't really want to look like that all the time. So if you guys want to know what's going on in my life, let's first start on my boyfriend leaving me. So that was something I've been dealing with for about a little over a month. He left for deployment. I don't know that I can say where, so I'm not going to. Not like it's like a big secret or anything, but like I don't want to get in trouble or I don't want to get him in trouble. So I'm like, we'll leave it at that. He just left for deployment. So honestly, at first, that was really, really difficult for me just because it's just not something I've ever had to like deal with. And honestly, I've never really cared about someone as much as I do him. So it's like going from my routine of like seeing him every single weekend to now just being able to FaceTime him kind of once in a while. Not once in a while, we've become more consistent, but when he was kind of first left, I mean, there were times where I couldn't speak to him or like see him or anything. That was like something that it took a little bit to get used to. But I mean, now it's a little bit easier. I'm starting to feel myself again in the sense that like I am motivated about things now. And before I kind of was just laying in bed. I was having a lot of anxiety and like anxiety attacks and stuff. And it was just like a lot at first. And, but now I'm like better. I'm like keeping it 100. I have just not had the motivation to come back and film and, you know, put all the energy and work that takes to like do YouTube, because honestly, like I said, it takes a village, honestly, to do the lights, the camera. Like I do this all myself. Like I film, I edit, I upload, I do it all, you know? So it's like, there was like a lot of like, it just took a lot of motivation to get me to come back. But like, he was my biggest motivator. Like, you guys have no idea. He would be like, did you film yet? Like, when are you gonna film? Like, I want you to get back into it. Like, he knows that I love it so much and he knows that I love you guys so much. And like, I just love what I do. I like sharing my passion for makeup on the internet. He knows that and he is the reason that I came back. So after my face is caked like a pro, I'm gonna set my face with my normal translucent powder, which is the CoverGirl. Again, I just haven't found anything that I like better than that. Just is what it is. Like, I love this powder. It's so cheap. It's like $7. It lasts me for like a month and a half to 2 months, and I like do my makeup sometimes twice a day, so it just depends. So I'm just gonna take it and use the sponge, the flat end. I notice a huge difference with just how my skin looks when using a damp sponge to set my foundation and concealer and stuff. And I just noticed that it lasts longer, and I noticed that It fills in my pores a little bit more and my skin looks a little bit smoother. I don't know if anyone else has that same experience when it comes to like setting their face with a like damp sponge, but I know that like it really does make a very big difference in my makeup. So I'm gonna take a little bit more, because like I said, I'm doing this a little bit earlier and I do get a little bit oily on my nose. So I'm just gonna take a little bit more powder and powder my nose, just because I do not want my makeup to wear off there, especially because I'm gonna be hugging people and that's the last thing I want. Like a Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer nose, and the rest of my face is kind of like beat. I am going to bronze my skin, and there's nothing new here. I'm still obsessed with the Hoola bronzer by Benefit. It's just something that looks really good on me like all year round, like in the summer when I'm tan, in the winter when I'm pale. It's just something that works for me all the time. And I'm gonna use a Smith 118 brush. These are expensive. I know that they're not cruelty free, but I'm obsessed with this brush and I'm sorry. Other things that have been going on in my life. I did get a new job. I'm not sure if I had mentioned that in the last video or not, but I did get a new job and I have been working in a hospital, and it's been a little bit more busy than like most of the jobs I've ever had in the past. So that's why it was like hard for me to come back to YouTube, because honestly, I was so tired every time I got out of work. I was like, no. But now I have the weekends to film. Now that like my boyfriend isn't home, I have the weekends to film, and I'm gonna start dedicating my time to filming on the weekends, because then I have like so much time and I don't feel like I'm rushed and I don't feel like I'm exhausted. So like my weekends are gonna be my filming time. So you guys will see a ton more of this face. We're gonna use this blush next, and this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills blush. This is not new either. I love this blush. It's probably my absolute favorite. I like how it looks on my skin. I'm gonna use this orange way over here in the shade Nectarine. I used to mix them all, but now I just don't. I kind of go a little bit heavy-handed on the blush, because I do notice that mine fades kind of quickly. Like my bronzer and my blush, I just think fade really easily, especially on my cheeks. I don't know why. It's like my face eats anything there. I feel like sometimes throughout the day I will notice my like blush and stuff just fading to nothing. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera. Those are really boring to watch, and honestly I'm pretty sure everyone does them in their own way, so I like don't really want to get in depth. Like, I mean, my brows haven't changed in so long and they're looking a little hella crazy right now because I haven't gotten them waxed, and my aunt is like sick today, so I'm like, oh my god, like I'm having like anxiety over how bad my brows look. So I'm gonna go get them snatched off camera. I will come back and we will move on to the eye portion of this look, which I'm pretty sure is what you guys are here for. Nobody cares about skin. It's all about the eye makeup and all the palettes I've been loving. So guys, now that my brows are snatched, I am going to put some powder underneath my eyes just because I wanted to catch any of the fallout. The palette that I'm going to be using does have some slight fallout. I will get into that in a minute, but we are first going to put some powder underneath our eyes. Not a crazy ton, because I don't want to over dry my skin. So nothing has changed here. We do one eye on camera, one eye off camera. Just makes it a little bit easier so you guys don't have to sit here and listen and watch me for 47 minutes, because as much as I would love you guys to, I couldn't even watch myself for that long. So what we're going to be using today for our eyes has been my favorite palette since I got it. So before my boyfriend left, we went to Sephora. We were just kind of shopping around, and I kind of wanted to spend money on a new foundation. I just wanted something different. Not that I don't love the CoverGirl one, I just wanted something different, but I couldn't find anything I liked, and I really just wanted makeup. Like, I just wanted to spend money on makeup, but I kind of like made excuses for why I didn't. And he was like, okay, I want you to pick out things that you like want, that you wouldn't normally spend money on. And I like feel so uncomfortable when people buy me stuff. Like, even my boyfriend, like, it's just something I feel so uncomfortable about. But this was one of the things he got for me, and this is the Sephora Pro Palette. But this palette has definitely been a favorite of mine. If you guys see, I did hit pan on this one shade over here. I know it probably looks like 47 of my other palettes, but I was like, $70. I'm like, I want it, but then I'm like, I don't really want to spend $70 on friggin' eyeshadow. Like, especially because I have so many palettes of warm nude eyeshadows. But I was like, you know what? He's buying it for me. Like, why not live it up? So the first shade that we're going to go in with is the one that I did hit pan on. I don't know the names of these, I'm sorry, but it is on the first top row. And I'm going to use that as a transition shade. I'm going to go in with the Sigma E40 brush. Not new here on my channel. I am obsessed with Sigma brushes. The one part about this palette though that I'm not 100% a big fan of is the kickback that you get. So like you dip, you remember like the Anastasia like subculture palette or whatever? That, or the, I don't know, what was that? There was some like, not subculture, maybe it was subculture. It was a palette that came out and every time you dipped your brush in there, it was a absolute mess and you got so much kickback. That is literally what happens on these shadows. And I think that's partially the reason that I have hit pan so early. What are you gonna do? Fallout is honestly inevitable, and I've kind of learned to stop crying over spilled milk. It's not a big deal. Like, fallout is fallout. That's why if you're gonna do your skin first, just like set powder underneath your eyes to catch it or whatever, but I'm not gonna cry over it anymore. Like, it's honestly not that big of a deal. The next shade that I'm going to go into is the shade that is right next to the one that we hit pan on. It's just a little bit of a darker brown, and I'm just gonna start warming and deepening my crease a little bit. I don't know what I'm really going for. I didn't really have a plan when I sat down. I kind of just decided that I was gonna film something, but I wanted it to be kind of holiday, kind of glam, just because I am going to like a family Christmas party. We do celebrate it like a little bit early because that's the time where we can kind of get everyone together. So I'm gonna take it on a Sigma E35. It's kind of like the E40, just a little smaller. And I'm just gonna take it and place it right on this outer corner. The one thing I learned about these shadows is you can't go in and start swiping it because it will become a mess. So I like to just kind of pat the shadows first, and then I will go in once I feel like there's enough pigment down, and then I will start to blend. I'm gonna keep this one a little bit lower in the crease since this is a deeper shade. I don't want it to start getting like super muddy. I just want this for a little bit more of depth on my outer corner and in the socket of my eye. For some reason I feel like I've had like super like droopy eyes lately. I have no idea what is going on. I'm like, I think I need to get like Botox in my brow to like lift my eye up, because like this is just for the birds. Like, I am not for it. So the next shade we're using is this shade right here. It's more of like it's still like in the brown family, but it's a little bit more red and a little bit more warm, like brick kind of. And I'm gonna use this on a Morphe M433. And I always really like to make sure I pack my brush, but then I also tap off the excess, because like I said with this one, it does pick up sometimes a little bit more than I would like. And I'm gonna just take it the same way that I did before and just pat this down. And then I will go ahead and blend this through my crease. I think this is probably a little bit deeper or the same depth as the last shade we used. You guys know me, I'm all about the warms. I am all about like burnt oranges and reds, and I'm here for it. After I do that, I am going to add a little bit of a lighter shade kind of above here. I just feel like it's a little too smoky and I want it to kind of blend out a little better. So I'm gonna use this orange shade right here, and I'm gonna take it on the first brush that we used, which was the Sigma E40. And I'm just going to kind of run that up just a little. And if you guys can see, it's just warming it up just a little, and it's not like as like dark and smoky, and I don't know, I feel like it was just getting a little too dark, a little too vampy, and I needed it to kind of blend to something just a little bit lighter. So guys, I want to deepen my outer V just a little bit more. So I'm gonna go in with this darker, it's definitely not as warm as everything else I've been using. So I'm gonna use that on a smaller brush. I just don't want this kind of getting everywhere. I want to have a little bit more control of where the product and color is going. So I'm gonna use a smaller brush, a Sigma Small Tapered Blending in E45, and go into that shade. I just want a little bit more control when I am using such a dark shade. I don't want this to be all over. I just want to deepen this outer corner of my eye, just a slight tad. So I'm just gonna do what I've been doing and just place it down on this outer corner. And that's just gonna give me just a little bit of smokiness. And I'm not gonna drag it through my entire crease, but I am just gonna take it up just a little bit so it kind of blends out and it kind of just leaves the darkness on the outer corner. I do have close set eyes, so I definitely don't want to bring it all the way through. I just think that just makes my eyes look way more close set. And honestly, I did not plan on going in with the black in this palette. The black I did use before. It's definitely not my favorite. I used it with a blackout smoky eye, and I would pack the black on my lid, and I could literally just take the brush, and if I were to move the brush, it would remove the black from my eye. So the black is definitely not my favorite, but it'll work. So I'm gonna just take the black in the palette, and using a Sigma short shader, E20, I'm just going to place that right on my lash line, kind of as like a liner, probably as tight as I can to my actual lash line, keeping it mostly on the outer corner. And then I'll take the same brush that we used previously with nothing on it and just kind of buff that into everything else. And see how it just kind of gives me like a little bit more something than what I originally had. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with a lid shade. I wanted to go with something a little bit more dramatic and a little bit more gold, so I'm gonna use the Urban Decay Elements palette, which I got in the mail and I have literally never touched it yet, except for today. But I'm gonna take this Fool's Gold shade in the palette, which is this one right here. I swatched it before because I wanted it to, like, I had kind of an idea of like the gold that I wanted to use on my eye. So I'm gonna take it on a Sigma Concealer F70. I'm going to spray my brush though with a little bit of water. I just want it to definitely be really metallic. I am gonna go over it with something else, but I just wanted it to be super metallic. Okay. And this is definitely a pretty gold, but like I'm getting a little bit of like a green vibe. Like this isn't like gold like kind of what I was looking for. But honestly though, it'll work. It's pretty. And I'm just not sure how the glitter I want to put over it is gonna look. So we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed and pray to the makeup gods that honestly it looks great. I am gonna take a little bit more of that like gray shade and place it on my outer corner just to deepen it. I'm just gonna place it right over that gold shade just so it blends just a little bit better. I don't want there to be like any harsh line. I'm going to go in with this glitter. It's heavy metal glitter in the shade Midnight Cowboy, and this is from Urban Decay. So let's hope that these golds kind of mix together a little bit, because if not, I'm gonna cry. I'm just gonna place a little bit kind of towards the inner corner. I don't want to do anything too crazy, so I'm just going to, I'm not gonna dip back in at all. I am just going to use what I have on the actual applicator itself, because I don't want to go too heavy-handed with the glitter. I just want like a little extra pop of something on my eye, especially if we're doing a holiday tutorial. It's like, how can you do a holiday look without adding glitter. I feel like this video is turning into a tutorial, so I'm just gonna let it happen. Honestly, I mean, we're here for it, so let's just make it work. I'm using the Urban Decay Zero 24-hour glide on pencil, and I'm going to apply it in my upper waterline and my lower waterline. So if you guys don't like watching this, just don't. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do this other eye off camera. I'll just see you guys in 1 second this time, but like 30 minutes in real time. Okay guys, so I finished my other eye off camera. I did finish this eye completely. I blended out my lower lash line and everything. So that is what we are going to do first on this side. I am going to be using all the same colors that I used in my top half with my bottom half. As weird as that sounds. On my lower lash line, not bottom half. So I'm going to first take the black, and I'm going to use a Sigma Flat Definer, and I'm just going to go right up against my lash line, and we're going to be a little bit more, ooh, I'm taking that a little too far down. I am going to make this just a slight tad bit smokier than I was originally planning on, and then we are just going to start buffing out. Buffing out my lower lash line is always like so hard because I don't want to buff it too low, but then I can't see what I'm doing since I'm like looking upwards, so it's kind of just like a surprise at the end. I'm just going to take a little bit more black because after we blend that all out, it kind of just gets a little bit like dull. So I'm just going to take it and kind of just go right again at the lash line to make it like super dark there. And then just kind of run my brush over it like one more time just to kind of like buff it out to my liking. I am going to use mascara. What I like to do and what I've been doing recently is applying it to my bottom lash line first and then applying it to my top lash line. I don't know why I do it. So I'm going to use this mascara, which you guys can use any mascara that you want. This is from TheBalm. It's the Scuba water resistant one. I like to use that most of the time. Lately I've been a little bit of a mess and I cry all the time. I'm trying to live my best life, people, so like no judgment. I also actually need to highlight the inner corner of my eye first. I almost forgot. I'm just using this shade in the palette, which I will show you in a second. But it's like a bomb inner corner highlight shade. So if you guys need one, because I kind of have been looking for one all over. I feel like a lot of people get like more intense like inner corner highlights and I can never achieve that, but like this one is kind of like bomb. If you guys were curious, the shade that I used, it was all the way over here. It's this one right here. It's a little bit shiny, shimmery, splendid. So I will go ahead and apply my lashes off camera and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so my lashes are on. What I'm going to do first is set my face, and I've been using the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. Again, not a plug by Morphe. I have been seeing a lot of people talk about this, and I was like, I've been a long-time fan of the Urban Decay like setting sprays and stuff, but I did see that a lot of people were loving this because it was a continuous setting mist, and honestly though, I am kind of obsessed with it. This bottle is almost done. It's like $15, which I think is definitely in the affordable range of like products and stuff like that, if you're asking me. I think $15 is definitely better than like $27, I think the Urban Decay one is, which I love. But if you're like balling on a budget, this one works just as good. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of get my hair out of the way because it will like literally drench my hair. So what I'll do is just kind of hold my hair back and like douse my face in this. It smells so good. And what I like to do is just fan myself off because I do drench myself in this. So I try not to talk usually. I just want to let you guys know. This is a cute note from TheBalm. Just letting you guys know, like that's literally what I'm fanning myself with. I like that it gives me a little bit of dew, a little bit of life back to my skin so I don't look so like dry. So then we're going to be taking the highlighter, which is Naked Urban Decay Cherry. This is the highlight and blush palette. I've been obsessed, as you guys can see. I've been digging into this shade. I usually don't like the trios from Urban Decay. Like they had like a bunch of like naked ones a long time ago, like the Naked Flushed, and I just was not amused with any of them, but this highlight is gorgeous. I'm sorry, hi. Did you want to be blinded by my highlight? Because that is legitimately what is going to happen. And I can get so heavy-handed sometimes when it comes to highlight that I actually hate myself for it. So I just take my brush and just blend it into my skin, because sometimes I'm like, girl, what are you doing? You look like the fucking Tin Man. Like, relax. No one looks like that. We are going to do the last step, which is the lips. I'm going to be using a lip pencil. This is by Sigma, and it's the Indulgent Lip Base. And then I'm going to be going over it with the Buxom Camila. I think this is like a lip gloss of some kind. It has like a little bit of glitter and like flecks to it. I didn't want to do anything super matte on my lips just because it's not something I like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and outline my lips and apply the gloss afterwards. I just can't talk while I do. Also, girls and boys out there, what we're not going to be doing this winter is not exfoliating our lips. So don't follow me, because I forgot. I've been like exfoliating them like once a week just because I feel like I'm constantly always applying like chapstick and stuff to them. But they still like, you know, get that like crust. So you don't want to apply any like matte anything when you have that, because it will cling to it and you will just look like a mess. So don't forget to exfoliate, people. I know I'm a bad egg. I don't even follow my own like tips and tricks, but you guys should. Okay guys, that was this whole entire tutorial, talk through, nonsense, whatever it was. Not really sure what I'm titling this video, because honestly it has been a absolute travesty mess. Not really sure. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little comeback to YouTube. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, which will be that red button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the family. Like, all you people that are watching this video and you're not a part of the family, what are you doing? In 2019, we are not watching people's videos who we're not subscribed to. So I'm going to need you to press that button for me and give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys want to see down below. You know I'm always open to suggestions. I know I've gotten some requests for like the James Charles palette. I didn't buy it, but if it's something you guys want to see me review and kind of demo, then let me know in the comments down below. And that's it. Don't forget to check out my last video, which was like a month and a half ago, but we're still here for it. And I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.